Hi everyone, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and in our series we take a game, we show you how to play it, and then we play the game. So you can really see how it works and then decide for yourself whether or not the game would be a good fit for you, your family, or your gaming group. Now in this episode, we are going to learn how to play Goblins Drool Fairies Rule by Game-O-Gami and powered by GameSalute. This is a very easy to learn game for 1 to 4 players. So join me at the table and let's see exactly how you play. The game is composed of 20 unique double-sided cards. On one side, you'll find goblins, like gobbledygook, and on the other side, you'll find fairies, like PB and Jelly. Each side will also have one of 4 different symbols, like the sun here, or the moon on this side. On this card, Cringe and Cower, you see the frog, and on the other side, the last possible symbol, the mushroom. Here's a helpful tip. If you see a moon symbol on a card, you know the other side of the card will show a sun. And if you see a mushroom on one side of a card, the other side will always have a frog. Something else to notice is that each goblin and fairy name comes from one of 5 different rhyming groups, like oop, awk, hour, ellie, and ooh. We'll talk about why the rhyming names matter in a moment, but first, let's look at how to set up the game. Take all of the cards, turn them to the goblin side, and then go through and find the 4 goblin cards that have a starred border. As you can see, they're pretty easy to identify, and you want to separate these from the rest of the deck because you're going to shuffle out the 4 cards and then deal one randomly to each player. I'm setting up a 2-player game, so I'll deal the first starred card to my opponent, then the next one to myself, and any remaining starred goblin cards can then be returned to the box. They'll not be used during this game. Then each player is dealt an additional 3 goblin cards. Once those are passed out, you will deal 4 more cards, fairy side up, into the center of the table. This area is known as the fairy ring. Any remaining undealt cards are then returned to the box as well, because they also will not be used during this game. Now, although you can always see the face-up side of every card on the table, no one is allowed to look at the face-down side of any of the cards, even your own. That said, during gameplay, some of the cards will be flipped over, but we'll see how that works in a moment. Now, the object of the game is to be the first player, at the end of your turn, to have only fairies face up in your hand. Now, you start the game with 4 cards, but it's possible during gameplay that you may lose a few or even gain a few extra, but it doesn't matter how many cards you have. If they're all fairies, you win. The other way you can win is if at the end of your turn you have at least 6 fairies face up in front of you. Then, even if you have a few goblins as well, it doesn't matter. You win the game. But to start, we need to pick a first player. The rules suggest you play rock, paper, scissors, or let the youngest player go first. I say, if you're the host of the video, you can pick whoever you want. And I'm picking myself. And so, at the start of your turn, what you need to do is pick one of the cards in your hand to add to the fairy ring. Now, you'll notice what I like to do here is when I'm adding the card, I keep it a little bit to the side at first because the card you play may have an impact on some of the cards already in the fairy ring. And you'll see that in a moment. But what I like to do is resolve all those effects first and then officially add my card to the fairy ring. The first thing you do is see if the name on the card you played rhymes with any of the names currently in the fairy ring. If so, you say those names out loud and flip those cards over. I played Cringe and Cower. That rhymes with sweet and sour, and Pixie Power. So both of those cards will be flipped over. Then I collect any of the cards in the ring that match the symbol of the card that I played. I played a card with a frog, so I'll collect Goldilocks. My turn is over, and the card I played stays in the ring. So I've lost a goblin and gained a fairy instead. That's an improvement to my hand. And the main reason why I keep the cards separate that I play into the fairy ring is that you're always going to take into your hand cards that match the symbol of the card you played. And I never want to accidentally take back the card I just played, which on occasion I've done. you're not ever supposed to take back the card you just played. So that's how I keep myself from making that mistake. But you know what? We could probably learn the few remaining rules by just simply continuing to play this game. But to do that, I need an opponent. So using my magical fluffies and a fairy rhyme, I'm going to summon an opponent. I'm all alone. I have no one to play with. Oh, magical fluffies, bring me Andrea Smith.
Hey!
What do you know? It worked. Andrea, I just want to let you know, I've already taken my turn, and I'm already winning.
Not for long. For my turn, I'm going to play Nervous Nelly.
Okay.
Now, because I played a card with the starred border, it means that all the cards in the fairy ring will be flipped over, not just the ones that rhyme.
That's right. Now, you are going to collect any cards that match the symbol of the card you played, and that means you're taking what?
Pixie power.
Okay, so you also removed a goblin and gained a fairy. And I like that move so much, I'm going to copy it by playing Chicken Pock, another card with a starred border. So all of these are going to flip over, and this time I'm going to collect any of the cards that have a moon symbol. And there's only one of them, Vanilla Scoop, another fairy.
Now I'm going to play Cobweb Shock, which rhymes with Chicken Pock,
yes,
Candy Rock, and Old Man Sock.
Okay, so 3 of these are being flipped over. And which one do you get to take?
None of them.
That's right. This is interesting again because Andrea played a card with a symbol that doesn't match any of the cards currently in the ring.
But I get rid of a goblin. And remember, to win, you either have to have 6 fairies in front of you or no goblins in front of you. So it was actually good.
Yes, but enough of your turn, my turn. And I'm playing Cuckoo Clock, which rhymes with Cobweb Shock. So that gets flipped over. And now I grab all cards that have the matching frog symbol, which is good. I get Hula Hoop, but I also have to take Cringe and Cower, a goblin.
I'm going to play Goblin Soup, which doesn't rhyme with anything, but I get to take Willow Sue, the fairy.
Right, because it had the matching sun symbol. Now looking at my hand, I can see that if I play either of my remaining goblins, I'm just going to get more goblins. And you don't have to play goblins. Instead, I could play one of my fairies, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Vanilla Scoop, and that rhymes with Goblin Soup, so it gets flipped over. And now I collect all moon-symboled cards, which means these 2 fairies, which is good, but also He's So Smelly. But I still feel like 2 fairies and 1 goblin is pretty good. And our fairy ring is really shrinking here.
So for my turn, I'm going to show you guys my hand, which is right here. I'm going to play Gobble Tea Goop, which is going to turn over Vanilla Scoop. As you can see, there are no cards with the moon symbol, which means I take none, leaving my hand with only fairies, meaning I win.
Okay, so I'm going to use these fluffies to reverse time and go back to before I'd lost.
My hair.
Didn't work. All right, so that is how you play Goblins Drool Fairies Rule. Now, in the rule book, it does give you some instructions if you want to play solitaire. As well, you can play the reverse. You can play Goblins Rule and Fairies Drool by starting with all fairies in your hand, goblins in the ring, and then trying to change all of your cards to goblins. If you have any questions at all about the gameplay that you saw here, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments below, and I'll answer them as soon as I'm able. But until the next episode, thanks for watching.